streaming cyberspace into your place. Tonight, YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, has invited 15 top drivers from 5 different oval series to leave the comfort of their race cars of choice to compete in unfamiliar but equally prepared Cadillac CTS-Vs at the World Center of Racing in a pseudo-recreation of the 1985 International Race of Champions. Yes, from Daytona International Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's Round 1 coverage of the first ever YesterYear IROC Championship. Let's take a quick look at the 15 drivers who are going to be racing tonight as qualifying is just beginning. In the red number 1, representing the Old Boys Racing League. In 2024 alone, a champion in 6 different series, Josh Robinson. In the white number 2, from the Bootleg Racing League, BRL Season 30 Street Stock champion, Jeffrey Harden. In the pink number 3, from the OBLR, it's Season's Xfinity champion, Lloyd Moore. In the gold number 4, from the BRL, 3-time SK Modified Outlaw Crown wearer, Todd Liston. Behind the wheel of the sky blue number 5, representing Old Boys Racing League, it's Season 2 ARCA champ, Sean Foltz. In the tangerine flavored number 6, from the OBRL, and its Winter Season Cup champion, Tom Ogle. In the silver number 7, from the Bootleg Racing League, BRL Season 27 Late Model Champion, the Canadian Goose himself, John Wilson. Piloting the cream number 8, representing the Red Light Racing League, that league's Season 12 SK Modified Big Cheese, Jeff Aho. Strapped into the yellow number 9 from the Bootleg Racing League, Season 26 BRL Late Model Champion, the Butcher of Baton Rouge, Ribeye Joe Snyder. In the dark blue number 10, from the BRL, with too many bootleg championships to list, short track Baltimore, the institution, J.R. Shepard. In the lime green number 11, from Red Light Racing League, that's League Season 17 Scramble Champion, Jeffrey Souza. In the royal blue 1-2, our first YesterYear Racing League competitor, that league's top modified champion and Race of Champion winner, Brian Bianchi. In the Nothing Rhymes with Orange number 13 Bootleg Racing League, multiple-time champion winner and 9th annual Stone River Shootout victory, the Hoosinator himself, Matt Hoos. In the licorice-flavored number 14 from the VLS iRacing League, 2024 VLS iRacing Challenge Series champion, Christian Lucian. Last but not least, in the brown number 15, representing the Bootleg Racing League, that league's Season 28 Late Model and Season 31 Street Stock champ, Double Deuce, Bruce Pearson. Hello, everyone. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, hype in the VGN press box to bring you our Words Eye View replay. Ryan Seneker turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, Shaggy, what do you think about this place?
Well, I think, we're really in for it. We're not too familiar how these Cadillacs are going to drive around Daytona. I took a couple laps. They should get around 50 to 55 laps for a tank of gas, maybe a little more if they're drafting, but we don't know how difficult it's going to be to pass tonight, Soup. At this 2.5-mile racetrack, qualifying could be everything, and right now, J.R. Shepard, the man at the top of the sheet, so good luck everybody else.
Early talk before this race is that passing is going to be hard. And when you look at it, and when AI takes a look at it, we're thinking it's kind of a battle here between Godzilla and King Kong, between, maybe Dracula and Voldemort. And we're talking about J.R. Shepard in the number 10 car and the number 1, Joshua Robinson. Shepard will be in the dark blue car, Robinson in the cherry red machine. Both those guys have dominated their series, and they sit 1-3 on the standings right now. Shaggy, this super speedway racing is all about making friends. And I guess when it comes to making friends, BRL has the best of it. They got 7 out of the 15 drivers out there coming from that league.
Yeah, and it really is. What do they say? Growing up, Soup. It's about who you know, and man, I think that's gonna really matter here. Guys that you're familiar with, that you've raced around for a long time. You've got that comfortableness. I think that's really gonna matter. But I don't know. I'll drop the news a little later, Soup. But I did get a little segment from Mr. Alan Wanamaker, and the first line of this thing is. Look no further than OBRL drivers. So.
That's what they're saying too. They're starting to grid up right now. We'll run down the qualifying order on the back street when we get there. We get a while. Oh, right now. Okay, here you go. On the pole, it is going to be, well, we're calling him Baltimore. J.R. Shepard. He's going to be inside of Sean Foltz. How about row 2, Shaggy?
Inside of row number 2, Josh Robinson. Into the outside, Brian Bianchi.
Couple BRLers make up the third row. That's Jeffrey Harden and the Husinator, Matt Hoos.
Todd Liston to the inside of row 4. To the outside, Tom Ogle.
Red Light Racing's Jeff Aho in the 9th position inside of Double Deuce Bruce Pearson racing in the number 15 today.
Row 6 to the inside, Lloyd Moore to the outside. He's flapping his wings tonight, Soup. The Canadian Goose, John Wilson.
Back there, the Baker's Dozen spot, a long way to go, is Jeffrey Sousa. With the Butcher of Baton Rouge, Ribeye Joe Snyder flanking him.
And rounding out the field, Christian Lucian.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the race details. How far are we going? How far can we go? Shaggy, I'll let you handle that. What do you think?
Yeah, like I was touching on earlier, when I was out there by myself, I got around 52, 53. So maybe, these guys may get upwards of, 57, 58 if they hang around in the draft. Tough to tell, but it's really important, Daytona Soup. You want to set the pace, but if you're out front, you're like a big snowplow. You're burning up way more gas than everyone else, so it's really important to rotate that position and conserve some fuel while we go throughout the night.
No fast repair if you're an iRacer. No green-white checkers, as this is YesterYear Racing, where the past meets the present. And of course, green-white checkers are a recent thing. Didn't have it back in 1985, which is the race we are trying to simulate. 15 drivers here. Man, do they look beautiful in those sparkly, candy-colored machines out there underneath this Floridian sun. We got clear weather, no worries about rain tonight. Oh, Miss Pace Car driver, the perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland, bring that car down pit lane. Let's get this thing ready to go. She waits, she dives it down, and now all control is turned over to the institution known as J.R. Shepard. Gather up the chickens, they come around the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Shepard that leads the stampede down into the first corner. They are 2 by 2 by 2. There is a little break there for that blue number. Bianchi can tuck that in there, that Royal Blue Machine. He can get there.
Yeah, Bianchi liking the upstairs, though. Personally, I would have went down. I'm not too sure how the outside line's going to work, but we're about to find out because look at the big run. Well, that actually stalled out. I thought Robinson was going to get a big run, but maybe got sidetracked a little too much and really stalled out there.
It's Baltimore and Dracula teaming up together, the two favorites, J.R. Shepard and Josh Robinson. They race 1-2, hugging the yellow line on the inside. Trying to make it work on the top side of the light blue machine is Sean Foltz. That's not working. Bianchi in the Royal Blue Machine trying to push him through. That white car on the inside is the number 2 of Jeffrey Harden. He's just sitting behind the 2 guys who are keeping the pace. A third line now up. Working the top side, coming like a locomotive, is the number 6 of Thomas Ogle.
It took us a whole 1 lap to go 3 wide, Soup. We were 3 wide at the line. Unbelievable. And Tom Ogle, man, I know he knows how to drive a next-gen car. I watched it on Sunday. He can drive a Cadillac, too, trying to go to the front 3 wide.
They say these cars are equally prepared, but that tangerine-flavored machine of Ogle was on the move, doing it all by himself as they race 2 by 2 by 2. Coming across the line, who's going to get credited with leading the second lap? It is going to be J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, I know it maybe doesn't make sense at first glance, but Inside line, shorter way around the racetrack, of course, but the outside line, Soup, the less wheel input you're giving that car, the faster it's going to be going off the corner. And if the outside line can hold steady, get 3 or 4 cars in a line, that may be the place to be tonight.
Shepard, Foltz, and Ogle are the Pied Pipers of their line, burning up more gas.
Oh boy, Bianchi floated up there a little bit in the middle. That was a close call for Ogle. But he's able to hold it together. The middle and top line do lose, a little steam. We see that inside line get away a little bit, but here they come reeling them back in.
Okay, I hate to do this because the action is up there, but if the front guys would all behave, I want to take a look at maybe the smartest drivers back here. Sitting well back. How about Bruce Pearson and Jeffrey Souza? They're just back there 2 by 2 trying to stay in touch with the lead pack, but giving themselves enough room that if something bad were to happen, and Lord knows there's a good chance of that, they might have some room to avoid it.
Yeah, it's storm season down here in Florida, Soup. I can't believe this run on the outside that those boys are getting. It is unbelievable. Most of the time you think 80 laps, Soup. We'll take it easy for at least 10, maybe 15 laps. But, man, right from the jump, Tom Ogle maybe taking the lead.
Last car in the top line. The Butcher of Baton Rouge, he's all about meat, but right now he's about banana. That's the color of his machine. That is Joe Snyder. Third in line now as he drops back a little bit. That black licorice flavored car, that's Christian Lotion having a nice run. In the middle, between the yellow machine of Snyder and then in the orange car of Todd Liston.
Yeah, and Liston, if I was him, being that not up towards the front, I maybe would take the, you were talking about Bruce, maybe take his role, fall back to the back of this front back because, man, in an instant, your race can be over if somebody in front of you makes a mistake.
Anybody who's watched me call a race before knows that my rods and cones are challenged. Liston in the number 4 is officially, that car is called Gold. Thanks, Mom and Dad. This would have been a lot easier if you would have passed me down some decent jeans. Look at what's going on up front. It looks like a parking lot up there. They get it to work. Oh, drifted up. That's the silver machine. Slow down, boys. What a great job. Are they going to save it? Oh, that was Lloyd Moore who got in the wall, backed right up into the licorice car of Christian Lotion. Lucian did a great job of getting off the binders. They all keep going, but he lost a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and Soup, it's something that we were privy to a conversation before the broadcast started. These things aren't built to go that fast. Amazing after getting in the wall like that thing's still able to drive straight. Good job by Lloyd Moore.
These are basically sports cars, and yes, they are, well, what's a good word? How about tender? The top line is doing a great job of being fast. The disadvantage with it is the closest line to the wall. For those of you new to the sport of racing, that's probably an obvious statement. I cannot get over what Ogle can do by himself.
Yeah, just, using that side draft, you see him, he holds his line pretty well, and when he runs out of steam, he pulls to his left and immediately pulls back out to the right to take some of that air out of the bubble, and he's doing a phenomenal job. The guy knows how to drive in these super speedways.
Matt Hoos is from the BRL. Ogle is from Red Light Racing. They do not know each other, but Hoos is able to recognize speed, and the Hoosinator ducked out of the second middle line, went to the top side to get behind Ogle. I think he knows that Ogle can get that car going.
The real question is, what is Matt going to do? I mean, he's got to have the milk in there somewhere, but I don't see the refrigerator in the back of that.
He is the milkman, is his nickname. He's got that milk truck working really fast. We started with 15 drivers. 14 of them are in the lead pack. Quickly, let's look at car number 8. Jeff, Aho. He's 2 laps down. There are no lucky dog, so Jeff's just being a trooper out there right now. 4 races on the schedule. Plenty of time for Aho to make up what looks to be a disastrous first race. But you know what? 2 laps down doesn't mean anything, Shaggy, when they're racing like they are right now.
No, you're exactly right.
We're 1 mistake away from him being in 3rd.
Yeah, you know, no quick repairs either, so you got to behave. If you ruin this car, that's it. So, I mean, that's what he's looking forward to. But, you know, sometimes the internet gods aren't your favor. And Aho, he had a little bit of an through 3 and 4 a couple laps ago. Lost the connection, but got himself back in the race.
The Canadian Goose, number 7, John Wilson, got his car in the wall. He's lost touch with the leaders. We were talking about an alternate strategy before the race. Maybe around lap 25 or 30, you and your friends come in, do a pit stop, top off with enough fuel to get to the end, go out there, try to stay on the lead lap. Then when that yellow does come out, you just cycle your way up to the front. Don't know if anyone's going to dare to do it, but it would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, these guys would know better than us, but you really got to find that car limit. I know in the next gen car, you want 3-4 cars. That's the perfect amount. You know, that extra 2 down there just help take the air off the front too. But your dream's 3 or 4. And now with these Cadillacs, you know, maybe it's only 2, possibly 3 at most, because they're not bump drafting too much. I mean, they'll get it done, but they got to be careful with the way these noses are shaped. So I don't know. You need to find your group, and you got to talk them into it if you need to.
The number 12 of Brian Bianchi, that's the Royal Blue Machine now, who's pushing the light blue, the light blue machine of Sean Foltz. They start to go forward. Maybe one of the fastest drivers out there, one of the favorites, is in that cherry red machine. We're talking about we're talking about Joshua Robinson, but he's kind of pinned right now. There's just nowhere for him to go. J.R. Shepard has him pinned behind him. Shepard could win this thing. Robinson could finish 6th, and they'd only be a few feet behind each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's Alan Wanamaker's pick for the race. He put him at plus 845 odds tonight. He said if he was starting out with $500 of play money this season, he put 75 on him to win the race here.
Just so you know how the money line works there, you bet $100, you win yourself back your 100 plus 875. Let's see if we in the future we might want to incorporate that into our broadcast. Maybe let the fans do a little fictitious wagering in there. Whoa, my! Getting a little bit squiggly back there in the Snow White machine. That was Jeffrey Harden. He keeps the 2 going in the right direction.
Yeah, and you know, I think your ogle, you see that top line really check up. That's when you get scared. There's nowhere to go. You talked about the little bit of room he has out there. Well, it can turn into a lot less room if there's a problem on the bottom in front of you. So good job of checking up by him and being aware.
Who's your big mover right now? Car number 14 in the licorice flavored machine. That is Christian Lucian, but you better look quick because the way these positions change, who knows? I do not like the racing line that Jeffrey Harden is taking. Brandy is his wife, probably watching at home. Brandy, if you can go on in and maybe just give your husband a kiss on the head, tell him to settle down, baby. That white number, oh mercy, the number 2 is all over the place. They are dancing the tango in a china shop, and somebody's about ready to break a tea set. They get it sorted out. Easy, Jeffrey.
Yeah, you saw how quick those guys up on the high side backed out too. We see Bianchi getting in the back of that light blue machine, the 5 of Foltz. Foltz had his hands full going through 1 and 2, and that scared that whole pack.
There are 2 cars that are worrying me. The fluorescent blue machine of Bianchi, who now gets moved out of the way. The light blue machine goes to the front. That is Sean Foltz. He's going to take the high side.
Oh, we got contact. Oh, I don't know how they hold on here. Wow. Oh, my gosh.
The front 6 drive away like nothing happened. The back 5 all say, whoa, Nelly. And now they got some work to do.
I believe Yeah, that was the milkman, right? Matt? No, that was Liston, who was the whole way down on the apron. Unbelievable. I don't know how he didn't wreck that race car. He kept that thing full speed, pulled it back up on the racetrack, and they're still in the draft, Soup. What a save.
The backpack of the field catches their breath, gathers up momentum, and then they say, let's go racing.
And, you know, speaking of the back half, we had saw earlier, Bruce, he had kind of lost touch, was losing the draft a little bit. Or was that John? No, that was John Wilson. You saw when the field checked up like that, he was able to regain and stay back in the draft. So good deal here for the Canadian Goose.
Josh Robinson, tired of being boxed in, moves to the middle line and now shows what he can do. He now leads the field. Don't know if he'll lead across the line. J.R. Shepard has led 12 of the 15 laps. 3 go to Sean Foltz. Robinson now can show what he can do out there in that candy apple red machine. He's racing in the number 1. That's where he wants to finish. And does he get credit with leading the laps? iRacing says yes.
It just edges him across the line. But I think Shepard, as much as he likes Robinson, you know, that speed that he's got, I think he'll feel a little more comfortable looking up in that mirror and seeing Jeffrey Harden behind him. A little more familiar with that man.
I'll tell you, licorice is sticky. But right now, in the black machine, the number 14, Christian Lucian could use a little bit of grip, a little bit of stickiness. That car is wandering around. You gotta wonder, I know that Daytona wears tires. I can't imagine the tire wear will play much of a factor. Maybe we get a yellow, we can talk to these guys, but right now there's racing hard. Who's gonna lead this lap? Who's got the best pusher? Who's got the fastest car? They bang behind, come across, and it is J.R. Shepard this time by 1/1000th of a second. Break that down into feet, it's a pinky.
Yeah, I would think, you know, in the 24-hour races, if you were breaking the race up into 3 stints, one guy could go 3 stints on a set of tires. So that was about 2 hours in the car, an hour and a half. And I would think if you get the group to work with, you're going fuel only if we go down green flag pit stops. But if we have a caution, why not take the tires?
You know, you race in a brown car, you're not going to get a lot of screen time. Let's look at the number 15. This is Bruce Pearson. We haven't talked much about him. He started in 10th position. He's lost 4 spots. He's at the very back. That might be the smartest spot to be back there. Double deuce Bruce Pearson. He's got trouble because he always races in the number 22. Today he has to race in the 15.
Yeah, 15 was my baseball number, though, in high school, though, so it's probably going to bring him some good luck here tonight, too.
15 was the age I first got kissed. So that's a special number to us all.
There we go.
Look at the pushing going on. A great job there from Lucian. Does a great job of pushing the inside line. We got ourselves a new leader. How about Brian Bianchi out in front? Will he be there at the end? I don't know. Now he's got the black machine pushing him again. Look at the momentum on the top side. Boy, the top side of Sean Foltz. That top side can work on its own. Who's going to get credit with it? Red, blue, light blue. Robinson, Bianchi, and Foltz.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was designed by Shepard. You know, we saw the middle line kind of pull away, and it almost like Shepard maybe cracked the throttle a little bit. I think he's doing what I was talking about. You don't want to be that snowplow the whole time. He led the field here for 19 laps. Time to tuck in line, save a little bit of gas.
How about a tip of the hat to all 15 drivers? We have raced 20 laps side by side by side. We are still green. And that's how we're going to be. 80 laps. We are 1/4 of the way through. They cannot go the whole distance. They will have to stop for fuel. You got to wonder if guys like Shepard, who's been up there, also Olga was racing on the top side, if they burned up a little more fuel. Shepard is no dummy. He probably says, you know what, I can't afford to be doing all the work. He lets another guy get up there. Oh, the black machine wandering all around. That's Lucian. He gets it going straight. Boy, I tell you, the middle line, that's tough.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, it seems like the draft's working pretty well here in a giant pack. I'd almost, at this point, I know we talked about it, flirted with it a little bit. Teams coming down after lap 30 possibly to make it the rest of the way. I just don't think I could lead this front pack. I know it's dangerous pack racing, but they just seem so quick. Even if you fall that second and a half back, they get a lot of drag.
There are guys having fun, and there are guys being smart. Let's look at the number 11. Boy, it's hard to leave when we're here. Let's look at Jeffrey Souza. He started in 13th. That's where he races right now. He's close enough to see what's going on, but far enough away to maybe avoid what happens in front of him.
Taking that old, he's not in here, but that from guy we're familiar with, that Aiden Young strategy, just kind of hanging out, saving the stuff. And restrictor plate racing suit, that's what you got to do.
Aiden Young, one of the guys in the Bootleg Laser League, not here now. Maybe one day. You got to earn your stripes, and Aiden wasn't invited, but hopefully we'll be seeing him sometime. They are still racing up front. Let's go ahead and see who wins this one. It's Sousa on the inside. The blue machine there is Bianchi in the middle. Looks like he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. Boy, they all start coming. Where are they going to score it? Yes, it is Bianchi, and a lot of that had to do with the pushing from the black machine of Christian Lucian. Lucian really good getting that car to move.
Man, these guys are spoiling us here, Soup. I've got a feeling we may be in for the best finish we've ever seen here. This is amazing racing.
How long can they race? When do you make a pit stop? Will it be a green flag stop? Well, who knows? I'm telling you, if I'm guys, I think you can pit and not lose a lap. If you could get some friends together, I don't want to be like, you got some BRLers, maybe Liston, who's Snyder and Pearson could all get together, come in and pit maybe in the next 2 or 3 laps, stay on the lead lap, get away from all the nonsense. The guys in front will have to pit eventually. Even under a yellow, you would cycle to the front. That's what I would do. But, you know, I don't have the talent to be out there, so they know better.
Yeah, no, like I said, it really comes down to that homework, what guys felt like, how fast the cars needed to go in practice, how many cars you needed in line. Man, he crushes that outside wall again, Sue.
John Wilson got a little bit of a bump up there. He's able to put the right sides on the wall, and he keeps it going straight. His number 7 machine, a little skinnier than it was before. How about, you know what I'd like to see? How about a blimp shot? You know, they always tell, this is one the director tells me, stay in my lane. But let's look what it is here. They're lined up. They are all stacked up right now.
Surprise us.
Look at that. Oh, that's a great shot.
No, I don't know why he was so nervous to show this. That's beautiful. You get all the cars in the picture going down the backstretch.
Whoops, getting up in the wall. You can see it there. He loses some momentum. Is that the same silver car? Was that Wilson again?
Nah, that was...
No, it was Lloyd Moore.
Yep, and
That's the kick machine.
Yeah, Sousa, the kind gentleman that he is, too, cracks the throttle, lets him down in line. He just wants to hang out.
We talked about it before. The top line may be fastest. As Lucian says, I think it might be as he pulls up there. The problem is, oh my goodness, doing a little rhinoplasty is Sean Fultz as he cuts off the nose of that fluorescent blue machine of Brian Bianchi. Holy moly.
Man, they were rubbing going down the backstretch there. It looked like Bianchi got up and almost hooked Ogle. You know, these things, they're not necessarily designed to go 186 here, so the net code got to him a little bit. It looked like there was room, but sometimes the internet will get you.
Oh. Fultz had that back wing hanging over the hood of Bianchi. Meanwhile, as that's going on, nose to tail, Dracula and Godzilla, Voldemort and Dracula and Godzilla's not the right pair, Sue. It's Godzilla and King Kong, Dracula and Voldemort. We're talking about Robinson and Shepard. Let's check it. Oh.
They're in the wall. They're hanging on. Another one in the wall. Oh man, I don't know how they're hanging these together. This is crazy.
Oh, there's a liquid stripe on the outside wall here at Daytona. Christian Lucian gets that car. The outside keeps it going straight. Checking up as well was the Husinator of Matt Hoos. Did a good job of backing off in that number 13.
I mean, they wrecked 6 times there without wrecking. These drivers are for real in another class. They deserve to be in this IROC series. That was very impressive.
Especially when you consider they have not had a lot of, this is not their car. This is all new, which is kind of what the IROC series is all about. Put them in something they're not familiar with. Some of these guys would be fast in a supermarket's shopping cart. Leading the inside line now is Foltz, working the top side. That is Thomas Ogle.
And, you know, as quick as they make the mistake, that's as quick as they go right back to 3 wide. These guys, they all gas, no brakes here.
It's the Tangerine Machine on top. The light blue car of Sean Foltz in the middle. And that red Robinson hot rod. Great pushing going on from the royal blue car of Thomas Ogle. No, correction, that's Bianchi in the blue car.
Yeah, Ogle's the one up top the whole
Ogle's
time.
up top, yeah.
Yeah, he keeps getting contact. I mean, that guy, Soup, if there is ever a war in the United States, I'm going to find Tom Ogle, and he is going to lead me and tell me what to do, because that guy, it's crazy. He's just, I mean, the guts he has. He keeps almost getting turned. He just goes back up there. He wants this thing so bad.
Okay, buddy, you go to battle. I'll do the commentating, okay?
Well, I was going to, you know, maybe commentate there as well, but I just said I'd go find him. He can do the leading.
You've already volunteered. You're in there. Hey, tip of the hat to Brandy Harden. She did go up, gave Jeffrey Harden a kiss on the head, and I'll be darned if that number 2, the white machine, doesn't look a lot better now as he races to the inside. Oh, it took my breath away. That was Matt Hoos that almost drifted down into him. Hoos back there in the 13.
He reached in the back of his cooler, took some milk out there. He almost did it again. They're getting close to each other through the tri-oval. Man, oh man, we're not even halfway, Soup.
Watch the black number 14. He's on the outside. He's got some spots ahead of him. The car is quick, and he's going to pick up some spots. The outside line is going to work, but he's going to run out of space. Good pushing going on. I'll tell you, that royal blue machine of Bianchi can really push. And he moves Foltz out into the lead. The dark blue car on the inside, that is Shepard. The royal blue car in the middle, we're talking the second row, that is Bianchi. Then outside of Bianchi trying to work, that's the number 12. I'm sorry, no, it's not. Hang on. Who's that out there? Oh, that's Lloyd Moore in the 3 in the pink machine.
And we've seen that thing get in the wall twice, so his thing was built strong today here.
Everybody is caught back up. Jeffrey Sousa back there and just chilling out there with Bruce Pearson. But they are in the lead draft. The only driver not with us, Jeffrey Aho. Aho still cycling, putting in time, waiting for the disaster to happen, and he'll be able to vulture some positions. Remember, this is the first of 4 races in the series. We won't see it for a couple months. We show up every other month. And you know where we're going? We're going to the Finger Lakes next time in June. That's a beautiful time. In the wall one more time. It's the pink machine of Lloyd Moore. He loses spot after spot after spot. Don't worry, Lloyd. Just gather it up. Get back up there, do some more racing.
I'm telling you, that nickname for Sousa, I'm going to call him the gentleman too. I mean, look at him. Everybody who gets in the wall, he just says, go ahead, stay in front of me, get in line.
For about the 4th or 5th time this race, Thomas Ogle is alone on the top. And he doesn't care. Look what he can do. All by himself. I'm telling you right now, if I had to choose a guy that that I think was going to win this thing, if they'd let me get to the betting window, it would be Thomas Ogle.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely acting like he wants it the most, but you know as well as I do, Soup, J.R. Shepherd just biding his time right now, and I think him and Robinson, they may set some fireworks off before this thing's over.
We are just biding our time until pit stops happen. Will they happen under green? Will they happen under yellow? Boy, if they happen under green, how exciting will that be? And you'll see some people getting together. There are 7 BRLers today. You got to think if having friends is an advantage, they would have the advantage. Red Light Racing only has 3. The Old Boys Racing League, well, there's 4 of them. In the wall, one more time for Lucian.
Yeah, man. I mean, you talked about him earlier. He's a great pusher. I mean, he got Tom Ogle there to lead that last lap, but boy, oh boy, he flirts with death. He gets right up against that outside wall.
And he knows so much about the wall, he could be in the Who. All right, that's a bit of a stretch and a dated reference. Gonna give a little push in there as Lucian on the back of Ogle. Ogle says, "Thank you, but I really don't need the help."
I thought you were going Pink Floyd with the wall. That's the direction.
Oh
I
my
thought we were
goodness!
going.
No, you know what? I'm gonna put $5 in the jar. And congratulations to you, Shaggy. 2 decades younger than me, and you had the right group there. What was I thinking?
There we go. Big Pink Floyd fan.
Speaking of Pink, let's look in on the number 9 of Josh of Lloyd Moore out there. Oh, in the wall again as Lucian. He backs up into Moore. You know, when I said the Who, it just didn't feel right. I'm so embarrassed.
Man, J.R. Shepherd really gave Robinson a push there. They were losing that battle going into the tri-oval, but all of a sudden Robinson, he was shot out of a cannon. J.R. Shepherd testing that nose strength here early.
"37 laps in the book. Green the whole way."
And I really do think now, you know, I mean, knock on it again, Soup, but we're getting close to that halfway point, no cautions. Now you do. You really got to maybe be in the ears of your teammates saying, hey, you want to come down here and pit. We don't all want to do this at once. It's going to be too dangerous. I think that's your best bet. Maybe go 4 or 5 car packs here down pit road.
Oh, getting a little bit off center there was the blue machine of Brian Bianchi. Giving a push to Fultz. I was a little bit worried. These cars really, they kind of have a rounded back end and a kind of pointed nose. You would think that bump drafting wouldn't work very well. They're making it work right now. I would sure like to talk to some of the drivers like Shepherd and the guys who are back there pushing the whole time and wonder about their water temperature, but apparently it's not an issue.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. We saw that become an issue here in the YesterYear Next Gen on Sunday night. A couple cars blew up from overheating, so you do got to keep an eye out on that.
I was watching that. They blew up like a Hezbollah beeper. It was awful.
And that's the best reference I've ever heard.
Too soon? I don't think so. All right.
Never too soon.
Ogle continues to be comfortable on the top. Thomas hasn't been credited with leading 1 lap. It's not how many, it's which one you lead. Speaking of that, Robinson looking to lead his 13th. That'll match him with J.R. Shepherd. Whoa! Oh, the cherry car gets under the yellow line. They get it worked out. He won't be leading this one. That's going to go to Sean Fultz. We have 40 laps complete. Sean Fultz gets credit with leading at the halfway.
Man, Lucian getting in that wall again, Soup. That right side is all scratched up. It's got a little gray on it now.
Let's look at Lloyd Moore. Got some momentum on the top. He can come whenever he wants to. For the first time in 40 laps, we have 2 wide racing and not 3. Lloyd Moore says, okay, Soup, I don't want to disappoint you. I see a clear road to the front. Here I go.
Yeah, he called your bluff there, Soup. And all of a sudden, Tom, he doesn't like running on the bottom. We know that. He sees the lane open up. He's going to follow Lloyd. They changed hands this time. Lloyd was pushing him for a little bit.
Moore has not seen a clear track in front of him the whole race until now. Oh, look at this! Coming down, dropping down in front of Robinson. That is Fultz. So we have a change of position and a change of racing line. Robinson is not going to like this. Could it be that he's getting into pit position? Did he want to move to the inside line? We are the halfway mark. Is it time? Boy, I would sure like to tune in to the team radio. See if he can find out who's his friends.
I think you're exactly right. There's no point in leading the race in the middle lane. You want to secure your spot on the bottom. Make sure you got a clear entry to pit road. That's just smart racing by Fultz.
To get that sorted out. I hear somebody coming out of the pit. Director, who was it? Oh, Jeff Ahu, who was 2 laps down, first to come into pit lane. They come around, not this time.
Well, 2 cars in the back coming down pit road.
Hoos and Wilson, a couple BRLers. Oh, the Canadian Goose got a little squirrely there. He gets it straightened out.
Yeah,
he would like to get that sorted out.
He almost hit that pit road entrance, Soup. That was scary for him, but he hung on to it. Now, that's really going to hurt. That's really going to hurt Hoos. Now, he's got to wait for Wilson to catch up. He needs the draft help.
Jeff Aho, who was hoping to vulture some spots, he crashed. He had to take a tow. All right, I want to check in on Hoos and Wilson. They remain in pit lane. The leaders are coming around. Don't know if they're going to get out of there and stay on the lead lap. I was thinking you could get the pit stops made, but I didn't know how long it takes to get it done. My goodness, they could have gone for a ham sandwich at the local Subway for the time it took that pit stop. Hoos is out first. Wilson behind him. In worst case, they're not even together.
Yeah, must take a lot of time to dump fuel in that car, and I noticed none of them got tires either, but with the amount of time, they might as well have not going to hurt you.
Well, you know, Cadillacs are a luxury car. They might have asked for a ham sandwich and then thought better of it because, you know, you can have a ham sandwich in your Toyota, but maybe not in a Cadillac. Are they going to, is it pit time? The inside line is lined up. I don't hear anybody talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars go by. Everybody stays out. When are they coming in?
And I know it's not exciting either, but Matt Hoos and John Wilson, they're just now about to start linking up together, so they've wasted a lot of time here, and pitting early may have burned those two.
What they need to do is stay out there and hope that they can, that no yellow comes out before they everyone else has to pit, or I think they will get trapped a lap down. What do you think of that yellow flag comes out and move up and come in? I guess they would cycle around. They'd be at the back of the field. No wave around, but they would get to stay out there and then cycle around to the back of the lead lap. So I guess they're not in horrible position right now.
Yeah, you're right, Sue, because the leaders would pit, they would stay out on the racetrack, and then with 1 to go, they would get around the pace car.
The Royal Blue Machine of Brian Bianchi. My goodness. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own one guinea pig because they're prone to loneliness. He's lonely right now in the middle lane. No friends at all.
I'm impressed that you know that, Soup. I'm actually a guinea pig owner myself. I, at one time, had 8 guinea pigs.
Well, they wouldn't have 8 is good. You're going to have a problem when the other 4 pass away.
Then I'll have to get more, man. I've built him a luxury cage. I'm a huge guinea pig enthusiast.
Joe Snyder was trying to look for a hamster tube to climb through to get up. He had thoughts in that Snyder in that yellow flavored machine back there, the banana flavored car, was looking to try to get to the back of Bianchi. But that idea was thwarted when Thomas Ogle decided that the top lane was not for him. I think for the first time this race, we've seen Ogle in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, even he's got to eventually work his way down to the bottom. He knows he's going to have to pit soon. You don't want to get caught out. And I got a feeling a lot of guys really holding tight to that yellow line. They're going to be coming soon.
If you want to think about racing, Red Light Racing only has 2 drivers in it. Jeff Aho and Jeffrey Sousa. Now Aho is out. Here they come. Easy, get it wound up. Oh, making a pass coming down pit lane. Was that J.R. Shepard? Oh my goodness. He's to the inside line now. Let's hope that the race stewards are going to let that stand. Shepard's a veteran. He knows just how fast you can come down pit lane. And he says, I'm here. He elbows his way, making the pass on pit entry.
And that's what the top level guys do, though. That's not an insult to faults there, but I mean, that's just all talent there. J.R. Shepard flexing.
Got to think that everyone's going to want to come in now. Shepard will be first out of pit lane. Bianchi is coming out of corner number 4. Look at how the field now has broken up on track because of the pit lanes. Here come 3 more, but they are not nearly as close. This is going to be fascinating. Oh, that is Robinson trying to get up on the back there of Bianchi. No speeding penalties, boys. Let's keep it all nice and under the rules.
Yeah, Bruce using all of those brakes there in that brown machine. That was amazing. If he didn't get a speeding penalty, he literally drove it as fast as he could there.
Okay. The leader of all the cars who have pitted is J.R. Shepard. And now here on the Virtual Grip Network, we're going to show you how national TV needs to cover racing. It's not important who pits now. The attention goes on J.R. Shepard, and then it goes to Joshua Robinson. The 2 guys, Shepard first on the track, Robinson first in pit lane. No! Robinson is not first out. How about we turn our attention to Jeffrey Sousa? Hello! He's marching his way to the lead right now. Here comes Shepard. Shepard on the roll. He blows by the car of Bianchi. Shepard, he's got listed behind him the 2 PRLers. They push their way past Sousa. And by the time the dust settles, Voldemort, J.R. Shepard, and his BRL teammate Todd Liston race 1-2. Now we turn our attention back to pit lane. Who will be coming out this time? Sitting at the front of pit lane, waiting to come out is, it looks like Lloyd Moore. Moore still waits in that pink machine. Joe Snyder waiting as well. Shepard and the boys have blown by.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, Soup. J.R. Shepard, 48 seconds in the pits. Quickest car in the pits there. And right behind him, Todd Liston and Jeffrey Sousa. Everybody else in those 50-second brackets. So those guys either guessed exactly right on the field, or, you know, the other guys maybe got... Yeah.
You don't want to take more than you need. You don't want to take less than you need. J.R. Shepard right now, he's got a familiar guy behind him, Todd Liston. I would not be surprised if we see a game of leak vlog here. If fuel is an issue, those guys may swap positions, just trying to nurse it to the end. The question is, can the tandem of Jeffrey Harden and Jeffrey Sousa, let me make this is a very important thing I'm going to tell you. Jeffrey Harden spells his name with a J, Sousa with a G. They were arguing about it before the race. They decided to agree to disagree. But right now, it is the number 2 of Harden out front of the number 11 of Sousa. Can those 2 cars catch the front 2? Will we stay green the rest of the way? We hope so.
Pay attention to that leaderboard graphic our wonderful producer has on there. You're just 100th of a second. Every couple seconds, they're just catching that wake. And if Harden and Sousa behave, This is going to be a 4-car battle to the finish here soon.
Harden, of course, a BRLer. Souza, a red light racer. They've introduced themselves, and now they are best of friends, trying to run down Shepard and Liston. Where's our early the favorite, the man that Vegas thought would be the best bet, the number one, the cherry red machine of Joshua Robinson? He's buried back in the track. 8th, 9th, and 10th for Robinson, Hoos, and Wilson.
Yeah, 1 and 2 second pit stop for Robinson, so that is the huge difference. 15 or about 13 seconds slower than your leader there.
Too much fuel, or maybe he took tires. Well, if a yellow comes out and they all gather up, that's the way to go. Well, we talked about it. We wondered if the tandem of Harden and Souza could run him down. I think the answer is a big yes. With momentum, where are you going, Jeffrey Harden? He runs right into the back of Liston. I thought for sure he would swing to the outside line with the momentum, and him and Souza would blow by the front too, but they've decided to tuck in and make it partie de quad.
We'll say his foot slipped on the clutch instead of the brake there. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he was rolling. That could have ended nasty, and that's the last thing you want to do when, you know, Soup, I mean, play the odds. 25% chance of winning this race if we stay green.
Okay, we talked about the lonely, what was it, a hamster or what was it?
Guinea pig.
Guinea pig. Let's talk about Brian Bianchi right now. All by himself. Racing with the face that he keeps in a jar by the door is the lonely Brian Bianchi.
Yeah, and you know, he was at one point in time a little over 1.5 seconds behind those 4 in front of him. So he was just hoping so bad Harden or Souza would, you know, lift out of that throttle, collect him in the draft. But why bring another guy to the party?
Drop back to the driver in 6th. He's led 13 laps this race. It's going to be hard for him to lead a 14th. We're talking about Sean Foltz, another driver all by himself. And Sean Help is a long way away. Christian Lotion, we'll run through. Let's go back and look at Christian Lotion. He's all by himself as well. And maybe these guys have a chance. Hoos, Wilson, and is that also Robinson in there as well? They got a long way to go. Look at the tower. They're 17 seconds behind the leaders.
No, you're exactly right. But for now, you just got to stay disciplined and stay in line. Catch Christian in front of you, and then you guys can play a little bit. But right now, you do have a carrot up there dangling in front of you.
Are you able to look at pit stop times for the 4 leaders? Are you able to check those for me?
Yeah, I got them right beside me.
Shepard, Liston, Harden, and Souza, they all have about the same time. Has anyone took an extra short stop that maybe has fuel issues?
No, they were all around the same time. Harden actually 1.5 seconds longer than them. He was in for 51 seconds. So if anything, Harden's the one who should be good as gold here on fuel.
Let's ride off the tail of Souza and look back at 2 guys that are trying the best to get this. This is Bianchi and Foltz. They are tandem racing right now. They are nose to tail. They are coming, and I forgot about the darn wing on this machine. You can't see anything off of our camera. We're going to try a corner shot maybe we can get back there. Beautiful picture of the wing. You know, I'm going to put in a diva request. Next round, can we put a camera maybe under the wing? That would be a good spot for a camera. Right now, it's stationary shots of the front leaders. They go by. Boom, 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 boom. Sound effects for you. And now we wait. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, I think Todd's got a hand up there. He's probably not very happy. You're that second car in line. You don't want to keep feeling that push, but at the same time, Todd, arguably in the spot where you want to be, P2 right now. So he doesn't want to lift out. He doesn't want to give up that track position.
Well, honestly, if I'm the front four, I got to be saying, boys, there's no need to push. There's no way those guys are going to catch us here. There's only 22 laps to go. This is between us. The worst thing that can happen right now is a yellow flag. And the dynamic of this race, Shaggy, the way that it's spread out, this is really set up to go green the whole way.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, the group there our cameraman has on screen, if they get real aggressive, they're the only ones who can maybe risk it. You know, if you're that guy behind, you're like, well, if I accidentally turn a guy, maybe I get a caution. Not that that's what you want to do, but, you know, that line, they got to make up ground somehow soon, so they got to be.
Yeah. We look at this battle between Hoos, Robinson, Wilson, and Lotion. I'll tell you right now, if they bring out a caution, they're going to go in Soup's doghouse right now. I love competitive racing, but come on, we've raced green the whole way. We got 22 laps to go. Take your points. No green, white checker. 80 laps, and we're done.
And Sousa ducks to the outside here, but it's something, you know, you highlighted at the beginning of the race. Different leagues for these drivers. The guys in the bottom here, all from BRL. Do they stick together? Is Sousa the odd man out here?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm afraid she's the ugly girl that doesn't get to sit at the important table right now at lunchtime.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, Sousa really does. He's got to just kind of hang out and hope that the C's part on the last lap, because you see, he's not going to get any help. These guys are going to control the pace here and just make sure they're in a good spot to go for it on the final lap.
We've seen the top line work on its own. Perhaps Jeffrey doing what is called a little reconnaissance racing, just going up there and see what the car will do 20 laps from now.
Yeah, that's got to be what he's doing, just doing some homework, trying to figure it out. He saw he could get to the outside of about lane 2, but from there it stalls out. He's going to need some help, and this is where you're on the keyboard trying to strike up a deal.
You get to the outside of the white car of Harden. If you can roll past him, get alongside Liston, then Harden will be forced to pull out behind you, and I'm talking about Sousa, and now all of a sudden, Sousa's got a chance maybe for Harden to push him to the front.
Yeah, Sousa gave him a little bump there, but I think Harden maybe lifted, just wants to hang out there in third for now, because he closed the gap pretty quick and then let it open right back up.
Somehow, the little square dance that is Brian Bianchi and Sean Foltz, they are making up time. Do they have enough time? 19 laps to get there. We'll keep an eye on it. How about all you little soldiers in Soup's Clipboard Army? Get out your pens and paper. Notice the distance. 6.5 seconds from Bianchi to Shepard. And honestly, it's not really how close to Shepard. It's really how close can he get to Sousa.
Yeah, if they could make up 5 seconds and get to about 1.5 seconds, I think they'd start to pull air and really increase. But for now...
Oh, I got a little bit worried there. A car on the top side. That's the butcher of Baton Rouge, Ribeye Joe Snyder. Does a good job of getting out of the way. Now, this is important. Let's look at Snyder as all of a sudden he becomes a stepping stone. That's the best thing that could have happened to Bianchi, because now Bianchi has somebody to get behind and help pull him to the front.
Yeah, and this is where, you know, I mean, he got out of the way of the leaders, but Bianchi's going to be yelling over that mic, please stay in the racing line. Let me pull as much air off that thing as I can.
They're asking the butcher to race as fast as he can, and take a look at that, Shaggy. Oh, it's got to be about 25 car lengths. Are they in the tow yet, do you think? Probably a little too far, huh?
Yeah, I would say a little too far. You know, maybe with these things, they're a little more square. You could flirt around the 2-second mark, but 1.5 to 1.75 to be safe.
And this is something that the front four have got to be, whether they've talked about it inside, it's got to be done telepathically. They know, let's stay in line. Let's not waste any time. We're not going to race as fast side by side as we will in a line of 4. No reason to bring Bianchi and Foltz into this one. We'll start our racing when we get a little closer to the end.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because they've only caught him about a tenth and a half. It kind of fluctuates back and forth. So if these guys just stay in line, 4-car race here to the end. And, well, I mean, here, if you're J.R. Shepherd, you're just hoping that you've never done anything wrong to Todd Liston, because when you're out front at Daytona, you feel so helpless, Sue.
Let's go back to car number 13, Matt, who's racing in 7th position. These 4 guys, you know what they have on their mind right now? Rivers in China and ribbons around old oak trees. Anything yellow is what they're hoping for. That's about the only way they're going to get into the mix right now. And again, a yellow may come, and to stay out of Soup's doghouse, it better not come from Hoos, Robinson, Wilson, or Lucian. Apologies to Christian, it's Lucian.
I mean, who's holding that thing as still as he can, and Robinson giving him all he can handle, but these guys just 4 cars in a line, not really trying to race each other at all. It's proven to be a tough task. I don't know if they're going to catch.
Look at the tower. Brian Bianchi now, he used the stepping stone of Ribeye Joe Snyder. That gap was once 6.6 seconds, is now 5.9. They've marched off a little bit of it. They're coming. Not sure if they're going to get there in time. What a great opening race. Yesteryear, where the past meets the present. Oh, how about 66 laps of green flag racing? Drama filled. Everything happened at the pit stop.
Yeah, the whole way down the backstretch there, Todd Liston was hitting your leader, J.R. Shepherd. So I wonder if they've got the ears on Soup and they hear it.
They're hearing the Jaws theme. Are those front 4? Boys, you are safe. Just stay out there, put it in. All right, Shaggy, this is going to be interesting. Liston has not tested. He's not really been racing up front at all. He has no idea what clear air is like for him. Same with Harden. I think Sousa was on the outside line a little bit. The only guy who knows what it's like to be out in front, where he is right now, is Voldemort J.R. Shepherd.
Yeah, coming down here to the close, I definitely like being in P2, but if I'm sitting in that 2-car right now, Jeffrey Harden, I really do try to make a move to the outside. See if Jeff will go with me, and if Jeff will go with you, that's your best bet here to try to win this race. And maybe just run side by side to the finish and stare out that rearview mirror coming to the line.
The points are weighted a little heavier for the win. I believe it's 20 for the win, then it's 17 for second. Goes down to 15 and then slides down a little bit. So there is some type of a little bit of an advantage there if you want to make a pass up front. The difference between positions not nearly as big back there where Hoos, Robinson, Wilson, and Lucian are racing. Look at that beautiful job there from Bianchi and Foltz. They have been in that position. They're doing all they can to get there.
Yeah, and this is where, those two, seeing how fast they are together. I mean, I took a look at the pit stop. It didn't work out that well for Matt Hoos, because he couldn't link up with Wilson. Wilson kind of messed up that pit entry. But they had 28-second pit stops. They didn't need near as much fuel because they pit early. So there was a big difference there. If you could have got 2 guys working together, that could have been it.
All right, look at this. Dropping, let's go to the front. Dropping back a little bit is the 2 of Jeffrey Harden. Just leaving about a 2-car length gap between him and Liston. I think he was trying to feel what would the train be, what's it going to be like, can I pull to the outside? Remember, Harden came with a big head of steam and did not roll it to the outside. He tucked it right in fact, put it in the bumper of Liston when he got there. I think right now he's trying to feel, what can I and Sousa do if we go?
Yeah, behind the scenes for everyone, those guys running second and third, they're used to that man out front dominating on a pretty regular basis when they're with him. So you got to wonder, maybe Soup, I know they're all from the same league, but maybe those guys in second and third, maybe they're sticking together for a reason.
Look at the tower. It's just a tick to get to 4 seconds. Bianchi and Foltz, they're coming. Oh, I wish I could talk to them right now, see what they have to say. Let's watch these guys race. Let's see if Foltz is actually pushing, bumping Bianchi. I believe he is. Just shoving him. You know, I talked about that maybe they would be doing some leapfrog racing. I've done a lot of open wheel racing where that's actually the case. Certainly the Miatas. You get a run in those little cars sometimes. Obviously Miatas don't have open wheels, but they're underpowered, and they actually will race faster when they leapfrog positions. I got a hunch that this is the fastest way right now. A pusher and a guy being pushed.
Battle for the lead. Harden ducked out to the high side.
This is the best news for Bianchi and Foltz that could happen. We thought that Harden was doing some reconnaissance racing, backing up, seeing what could happen, and now they are side by side, and they may stay like this for the next 9 laps.
Man,
guess who gets credited with leading that lap, Shaggy?
Yeah, give it to Harden at the line. Now I gotta wonder, Soup, with the way that move worked, did they just play their hand too early? Because maybe you do that on the white flag lap, you bring yourself home a checkered flag.
If I'm Jeffrey Harden right now, I'm talking to Foltz. I'm talking to the car behind me there. I'm talking to Sousa, saying, let's back up again and maybe try that later. I don't know if Sousa will be willing to do that because it pretty much guarantees him a 4th position. But Liston would like to just get back there. Now that he knows that he can lead a lap, let's wait and do it on the very last lap. But you know what that side-by-side racing has done? It's brought Bianchi and Foltz a half second closer. One more time, Jeffrey Harden at the line.
Man, oh man, and now you're just hoping, if you're Jeffrey Harden, that Sousa's, chewing on the fact that he's probably not going to get better than second, maybe 3rd place in this race, and you're hoping he stays true to you, and maybe, you help him back in a couple months.
That Snow White machine of Jeffrey Harden looked so squirrely early on when he was in traffic. Luckily, his wife came up, calmed him down a bit, and now he looks, oh my goodness, like he's racing with ice water out there. Smoother than a bikini wax is Jeffrey Harden. As he has led the last 2 laps, let's see if it works again. This time I think it's going to go to Shepard.
Yeah, and we see on the camera there, 4.5 seconds, Soup, Bianchi and them. They've chewed up half a second with the side-by-side racing. It is going to come right down to the wire with them running down this front pack.
And when Bianchi and Foltz get there, if they get there, they could be coming with a lot of momentum. We could see them roll to a 3 wide. Oh my goodness, don't go anywhere. We got ourselves 6 laps to go. It could be any one of 6 drivers getting the win.
And, these guys, obviously they're not aware of it like we are, but every time you see Harden go down there, suck side draft off and woe up that inside line, it may speed him up, but it's slowing their pack down, and those 2 behind just keep reeling them in.
Liston cannot be happy. Now here's an opportunity for Todd to move to the outside, but no, with a big roll up there. Oh, that is Sousa.
Yeah, he left Sousa up there, but Sousa's got enough room. What's going on with JR? Does he like what he saw there a couple laps ago? Does he want to be that guy in 3rd place with the run late?
I think he is positioning, and that positioning brings Bianchi within 4.3 seconds. This is right where Shepard wants to be right now, and Liston knows it. They're going to sit back there. They don't even want to be any closer than this. Shepard back there just waiting, and he's going to time it, and he's going to blow by him like a freight train. He's going to bring Liston with him. Then Liston's going to duck to the outside or inside, try to steal one away from Baltimore. But what that does is bring Bianchi and Foltz all the more closer to the lead train.
No, you're exactly right. Think about it. If 2 tractor trailers running in line down the highway, if they space out a little bit in between them, they're widening up that air gap much more further behind down the highway. So those guys, they are starting to get that wake now.
But Jeffrey Souza is going to see them coming, and there's no way that he's going to let Shepard and Liston go by without pulling to the outside of Harden. That means Shepard's going to have to go 3 wide when he gets there. It's a game of chess at 186 miles an hour. Go, Shaggy.
Under 4 seconds now, Soup. Bianchi 3.9. Here they come. This is going to be a freaking great finish, Soup.
The gap back to Shepard, about 0.6 of a second. They are almost there. We're talking about Bianchi and Fultz. They are doing everything they can to get there. The front 6 set up into tandems of 2.
I don't know what is going on with J.R. Shepard. I mean, that's at the second gap now, 1.1, 1.2.
Like too big of gap right now. Could it be fuel? Could he was leading for so many laps. Could 36 laps out in front? Could he be saving? If so, let Liston by. Todd is right behind him. Is Todd worried? Have they talked? Do they know what's going on? I am not comfortable with this gap right now. There goes Liston. He's worried about it too. He's listening to the broadcast. I think Shepard has fuel issues.
Yeah, that's got to be it, Soup. I mean, this is unbelievable. Really slow now going down the backstretch, and here come Bianchi.
36 laps out in front for Voldemort. He might have been thinking there's no way this thing goes green the whole way. He put in enough fuel thinking that there would be a yellow flag. That's not the case. Now, Liston falls into the clutches of Bianchi and Fultz. They go by him like expected. Liston will try to tuck into the back. They need to clear him so they can run down the front 2 who are having it their own way. Jeffrey Harden and Jeffrey Souza, one with a J, one with a G, out in front.
Yeah, that's got to be fuel or something for J.R. Shepard. He's going 130 mile an hour right now through turn 1 and 2.
We are working lap number 79. It might be a case of too little too late for Bianchi and Fultz. Liston, who was right there until his BRL partner faded and he got stuck behind him. Liston saying, what happened? We were in the best possible position. Coming around, the flagman pulls out and waves the flag that has no pigment. With apologies to the rest of the field, we're going to keep our attention up front. It is BRL veteran Jeffrey Harden racing, Red Light Racing's Jeffrey Souza. Souza behind. Souza a half car length back. Souza lets it go a little bit farther. Souza knows what he's doing. Now a car length and a half. He waits. They go down the backstretch. 2 more corners till we get the winner of the first race of the first ever YesterYear IROC championship. Here comes the momentum for Souza. He goes to the inside. Is there room? Harden leaves some room. They punch. No, they do touch this time. Pinning him down. It's going to be a drag race. They bump. Harden loses momentum. A drag race to the end, and it's going to be at the line. Jeffrey Harden. Oh, sweet sassy molassie.
They don't get better than that. That's the cleanest finish you can have, rubbing at 180 mile an hour. What a show.
80 green flag laps of racing here at the Daytona Super Speedway. Oh my goodness, we started with 15:10 finish on the lead lap. It doesn't get any better than that. Woo! The racing is over. We're going to take a short break, but our broadcast is not. We're going to come back, run down the finishing order, talk to some of the drivers up front. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. From Daytona International Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's first round coverage of the first ever YesterYear IROC Championship. Well, folks, sometimes you lose a race thanks to bad luck. Sometimes you lose a race because you just don't have the talent. And sometimes you lose a race due to math. And that's certainly what happened to J.R. Shepherd as he miscalculated how much fuel he needs, especially considering that JR led 36 laps. He runs out of fuel, was clearly the class of the field, and turned it over to our winner, Jeffrey Harden. Boy, force of habit. Jeffrey Harden, who gets the win coming from 5th position. He had Jeffrey Souza right behind him. Souza was well in the back early on, played a strategic game perfectly as he gets 2nd position. Brian Bianchi will take 3rd. Poor Todd Liston had to be feeling he was in a good spot, right in the tail of J.R. Shepherd until Shepherd suddenly started to fade. By the time Liston caught on, it was too late. Bianchi went by him. Sean Foltz, who raced behind Bianchi trying to get to the leaders, well, he'll round out your top 5. Shaggy?
Yeah, favorite coming in, but got a little bad luck there in pit road. Slow pit stop for Josh Robinson. He's going to bring it home 6th. Christian Lucian bringing it home 7th after touching that outside wall a couple times. The Milkman bringing it home 8th. Matt Hoos, the Canadian Goose, 9th. And J.R. Shepherd, well, you touched on it there, Soup. Leader for a long time. Looked like he was going to bring home the checkered flag, but miscalculation, runs out of gas, and, well, he coasts it back to pit road with a lap time of 2 minutes and 36 seconds. So good finish there for J.R. Shepherd, able to bring it home. But Lloyd Moore brings it home 11th. The Butcher, Joseph Snyder, 12th. Bruce Pearson, he had a headset issue. That was his fault tonight, so wasn't able to finish the race, but hopefully we get Bruce here back in a couple months and he can really show his stuff. Tom Ogle, 14th. And rounding out the field, Jeff Aho.
We here at VGN, we like to bring you the action, but we also care about you, the viewers. So as a public service announcement, here's an example of why not to gamble. Joshua Robinson and J.R. Shepherd were by far the favorites coming into this race. They finished 6th and 10th. VGN cares. With that, we're going to talk to Jeffrey Harden, our race winner. Jeffrey, it's Soup up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, man, Soup. You don't even know how happy I am right now.
All right, we talked before the race. You didn't come in very confident. Let me tell you the truth. Watching you when they were 3 wide early on, out of all the cars, you were the one taking my breath away because your car did not seem very comfortable. Was it just me feeling that way, being paranoid, or were you struggling a bit early on in traffic?
Oh, I'm not used to the draft and seeing the cars shoot around. I mean, short track, you see a car shoot around like that normally it's because he's wrecking. So, my instincts are to make a move, and that's not necessarily the best thing in this style of racing.
Then we get to the end. We saw you drop back a little bit, let a little bit room between Shepherd and Liston when you had your partner Sousa behind you. We thought you were going to make a run. You go to the outside, and then surprise, J.R. Shepherd has fuel issues, and he's kind of taken out of the picture, and now it's a 2-man race.
Yeah, I would drop back because I was worried about fuel. I didn't put enough fuel. I think I finished with 0.2 when I crossed the finish line, and I drifted back and was hoping Jeff would push me. He kept pushing me and let me save fuel.
Well, it helps. That's a good thing that you only led 9 laps. Let's take you to the very end. You surprised me. You left the inside line open there.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I looked up in my mirror and I lost him, and I thought, okay, did he go high? And so I kind of moved up to get a little side draft, and I saw him low, so I came back down to get a little side draft. And I might have got a little too much. I apologize to Jeff for that.
No, it looked good. No, it was good racing. No, it's funny. We see you so much in the modifieds where vision is an issue going front. Now with that big tail, that big wing out the back, vision is an issue looking back.
Yeah, and I'm still not used to these cars, man. I think I got whatever practice we had before the race.
Well, you did good. Brandy's proud of you. Congratulations. We'll see you in a couple months. We're going road course racing. Do you know how to turn right? Have you ever done a right-hand turn in a car before?
Yeah, when I'm coming back off the grass on the oval.
All right. Well, that's a lot to look forward to. Good luck to you. We'll see you down the way. We'll be starting in the back when we go to Watson Glen. Good luck.
All right, thanks, Soup.
Jeffrey Harden, your winner today. That was a good interview. Shaggy, who you got?
I got the gentleman, Jeffrey Souza. Jeff, Shaggy in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, man, how we doing tonight?
Dude, not as good as you, man. I'll tell you. Coming into tonight, first off, let's touch on it. 80 laps, 15 cars. Did we think we were going green flag all night?
You know, normally most people would say, yeah, sure, 15 cars, you know, we're going to have a ride around and you know, be nice to each other until the end. But how this race started with all that 3 wide and 4 wide chaos, I was expecting at least 1 yellow. So personally, I was a little bit surprised that we went green.
Yeah, respect the honesty there, because that's why I'm calling you the gentleman, man. I saw you pacing at the back of the field. Anytime a car would even get in the outside wall in front of you, you'd let them drop back in. Was the plan to just ride in the back, and if anything bad happened, let it happen in front of you?
Yeah, that was really the plan coming into tonight. I have not been able to get many laps at all. I ran some AI laps earlier this week just to get the feel of the draft. So tonight was more so first half of the race, get a feel of the draft around actual people, and then be able to figure out how much I need to make runs and such. And I think when we had that incident during the pit cycle there, that kind of opened up the window to be able to play those games without being log jammed, like it seemed like a lot of guys were that first run.
Yeah, you know, it seemed like there you were about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds off that front pack. Were you worried at all, or were you confident in you and Jeff's ability to get back up there to the front too?
Yeah, for a little bit there, I was worried because I wasn't sure on the situation for Jeff with fuel. I know I was trying to crunch the numbers when I was riding there towards the rear of the pack, figuring out, oh, can I take this much, that much? And I ended up going on the higher end of my number, and thank God I did, because I wasn't expecting to have to come out of pit road and go full throttle the rest of the race, but that was what we had to do, and it ended up working out.
Well, you know, sometimes that's the way it goes, and you're exactly right, man. Started 13th, up 11 spots to finish on the middle step of the podium. Congratulations, Jeff. Trading paint at the line, man. You guys set the bar high. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, it was a really good race with Jeff, and it was good we both stayed clean and didn't let the rest of them get get back to us. But everyone at Triad Racing for everything they do every week. Souza Media, all they do for up here in the Northeast with work, and just got back from Daytona, working down there in Smyrna. Sten Analyzer for keeping my fuel numbers and making sure I know where my speed is overall, and you guys for putting this on. Obviously, you know, Alan has really put something together that I didn't really know what to expect out of it when I got the invitation. But I said, hey, you know, that sounds fun. These Cadillacs are pretty fun to run around a couple of different tracks that we're going to be at. So I said, let's try it out. And if the rest of the season is how it was tonight, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Soup, don't hate me here, but I got to ask him one more question now,
Go
Jeff.
ahead.
Are we a real-life racer? Is that what I heard? Were you racing?
I'm not, sadly. Sadly not racing, but media. Doing the media for the racers. Yeah,
Well, hey, man, hey, that's cool. I'll tell you what, that's why I'm sitting up here. That's the goal one day. But Jeff, man, P2, hopefully we get to hear from you again soon, brother. Great race.
Sounds good. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Jeffrey Souza finishing second, and now we get to talk to Brian Bianchi. Brian, you put on quite a show. There's so much to talk about. Let's talk about you and your partner there at the end, Sean Fultz. You were trying little by little to reel him in. You almost got there.
Oh man, what a run. Took me a couple laps to figure out how Sean was pushing me, but once I figured that out, man, we were flying there. Through the short chute, I was hitting 192. That was the fastest I was hitting all race with just 2 cars.
And when they started to go too wide in front of you, I think it would have got there. You just didn't quite have it there. And then you had to race a little bit as you caught Liston.
Yeah, we caught Liston. I tried to go outside of him and keep going, but he was able to hang on the bottom. So I said, well, let's get behind him and see. Maybe we can catch the top 2. And then he kind of got a little squirrely coming out of one. And I got under him and finished third.
Yeah. How much? Go ahead.
I got to tell you, Alan Wanamaker has hit it out of the park again. I mean, to have the the racing that we had 3 wide for, I don't know, 50 laps.
Yeah.
That's, amazing.
Tip of the hat to him. Tip of the hat to the boys that were able to do it, and tip of the hat to the car that I thought put on a pretty good show. You know, how much fuel you put in during a yellow flag stop here at Daytona really doesn't matter. Whether you come out first or 12th or 13th, you're still going to be in the lead pack. But under green, a few seconds cost you. Did you have any clue about what you needed? And did you take more fuel than you needed?
Yeah, I think I ended up about a gallon too much, which cost me the 2 seconds to lose Souza there in the draft. Hey, lesson learned. I'm not a big super speedway racer, so come out third is pretty good.
Well, you know, it's a double-edged sword. The guys up front won the race finishing on fumes, and J.R. Shepard, who might have been the class of the field, cut it too short. You saw him, you blew by him as he was trying to milk it home. So it's tough. Who knew the green flag pit-stops to be so important?
Yeah, who would have figured we would go all the way on green? I mean, that was, again, like I said, Alan really hit this one out of the park.
Congratulations to everybody who put on a good show. It was a great broadcast. Good luck to you. We'll see you down the road. Can you turn right? Do you have any idea how to do a road course?
We'll learn. You know, I got some road course experience, but we'll put in the time, and hopefully we'll be up in front there too.
Good deal. Congratulations. We look forward to you in a couple months when we go to the Finger Lakes and Watson's Glen. Brian Bianchi, our third place finisher tonight. Well, that's going to do it for us. When are we going to be back again? We got so much stuff happening on VGN. I don't know what's going on. YesterYear Racing, the IROC series. We're coming back we're going to Mid-Ohio. Oh, you know, I said we're going to Watkins Glen. I apologize. That is the Red Light Racing League that's going to Watkins Glen. This road course is to be done at Mid-Ohio. That's going to be really fun. Round 2, Tuesday, June 10th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But before then, how about the Red Light Racing League, SK Modified? This is the one I was talking about. Oh, my goodness. 2 road courses on the same graphic? That's never been done on the Virtual Grip Network. That's right. We're going to Watkins Glen International Raceway. We're going to see SK Modified try to work that twisted course. That'll be fun. Don't want to miss that. Those races, future broadcasts, past broadcasts, all a production of the Virtual Grip Network. With that said, until next time, have fun storming the castle.